Looking at a wide variety of aluminium. Down here is what we want, the square tubing. But as you can see here, we have 30mm, this is the one we want to be the same as everything else, but $12.29. Right here, 40 or 50, which is what I wanted to put on there, is double the price. I want it, but not that bad. And over here we can see the alternative that I was looking at, which is rectangular box section. Something like this, which is 30 by 50, would be nice. It'd give me the depth that I want. And these are 1 meter lengths, by the way. But the problem is, that's even more expensive. I could go 50 by 50. This would be a nicer solution, a much nicer solution. But two of these comes in, $45. Where if we go back over here to these ones here, 30 by 30, that comes in a lot cheaper. Oh look, even that, it's $2.29 a sheet. Perfect. At a lovely $6.85 each length we have, I don't know if you can see that there, angle aluminium. So we've got 30 by 30 by 1.5 millimeter. So it should be alright. I mean, it flexes, it's stuck. It's gonna defeat me. So it flexes a little bit. It's got a little bit of twist in it. But you know what? It's going to be fine. It's not going to be really holding very much weight on there. So if we get a couple of these, that'll deal with our 700 wide and give us enough to do the overhang as well. So that'll be fine. We can brace between the two. We can have the overhang, and then with the extra one, we can also put a brace on the bottom of it. Not that it'll need it, but I think it's probably a good idea. Given that it's this wide, we can just use part of this between the two bottom ones essentially as a shelf, rather than have to bend a bit of aluminium. That'll be a lot neater, and add a little bit of support there too. So that's what we're going to go with. So there's one of them, just need another one of them, and then we're all good. Now our other option for the backboard was going to be this masonite pegboard, so I could hang stuff off it. It'd be nice, it's nice and even, it's a cool little thing, but number one, it's quite heavy. Number two, it's also quite expensive. Okay, so basically what we have here is my design, as you can see, under all this crap. You've got here is the upright, which is these parts here, 30 by 30 by 1.6 by 1 meter long. Should give us a decent amount of length there. This bit here is for this bit here that sticks out, as well as the cross. I said cross, but it means go between this one, so go between the two uprights. So one will be in this corner here, one will be in this corner here, coming straight up to about this high, because you can tell distance from me doing that. So from there, these two link together. I haven't figured out the best way to attach these without dropping that on the ground, please, because here you have. Get out of it. No, that's better. Because this little angle tubing, and that, I mean, it's only going to attach in one spot. So do I make it a little bit longer so it attaches to the back as well? I don't really know yet. I'll figure that out. I might also need an extra bit. As I said, I might put one here, so that acts as a kind of shelf for everything sticking out the back or not, but I'm not 100% on that yet, so I mean, I'll probably leave that for later. Ideally, I'd want it kind of down a little bit, so if you have a little drop there, things can I can put things in there and they're not going to run away on me, they're not going to end up anywhere, so I can just pile, that's my piling nuts and bolts and shit channel, basically. But I haven't quite decided on that yet, which is why I don't have the parts for that yet. I'm just going to really kind of start putting this stuff together. As I said, mount that on the back here. So this will come, about that kind of thing. And that way we're going to have a decent amount of support. It should work. I mean, it's not going to be stupid heavy. It's not going to be stupid high. I think step one is chuck those on there and see how we go. I have to also see how thick this is. I don't know if that's going to be able to take a tap and die and actually hold what we need to hold, or whether I'm going to put a bolt all the way through it to the other side. All the way through, or whether we can just go in there and it'll be fine. Yeah, we'll see what happens when we get closer to that, which will be pretty shortly actually. I've got some G-clamps, I've got some other clamps. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Hold up there. Okay, I've been back to Bunnings. I may have forgotten a couple of things. I said that I needed 2 of these. I actually need 3 of them. I need 1 for the shelf, I need 1 for the top bracket, which is probably out of frame now, and then 1 for the front. So shelf, top, front. So I need 3. I went back, I bought another one. I also discovered that aluminium brazing is a thing. I never knew that aluminium brazing was a thing. I've always just bolted or riveted it together, and it's kind of crummy when you do that. So I got some aluminium brazing rods. I have some tech screws, as they're known, self-drilling. I tried to get a non-self-drilling one so I could drill the pilot holes, but it just didn't work. Got my pens, got my trusty tape measure, got my trusty ruler. I did have a meter long one of these, but I don't know where it's gone. It's hidden somewhere. This so I can make fancy angles. This one. Fancy angles meaning right angles, but not very fancy. They're just an angle. This one's got a scribe in it, so that's perfect. So I can actually scribe what I'm doing if I don't want to mark it with one of these. I got some G-clamps over here. I don't have any big ones, so I'm going to have to kind of imagine some ways around things. And then a tech screwdriver there. So basically, everything's good to go. For now, anyway, in the half hour I've got to do before I leave to work. Hey! So this video will be broken up a little bit. Sorry about that. It's also a million fucking degrees inside the shed, even though it's not very hot today. I did have fans and stuff on before, but they're a little bit noisy. So I've turned them off, so I'm suffering for you. Step 1, we have to measure these bad boys out. These ones here are going to remain full length, so they don't matter for now. Although, we do have to measure, think of it, I take that back, we want it to sit 600 mil up from the table. So we've got to measure that 600 mil. I feel it's good to label things as well, because otherwise if you write bottom on it, you're not going to round it the wrong way around and look like an idiot, because if you do that, you're an extra idiot because you've written bottom on it. Then from these just need to be 700 wide. Now I will have to also remeasure these side bits that I've got here, because I only wanted them to come out 20 centimeters, and obviously we've got 700 mil, so 300 mil left over here. That makes it a little bit longer than what I wanted for it to come out at this top part here. I only wanted 200 millimeter overhang. Obviously there's a little bit to accommodate for it sitting over the square pipe. It's going to be sitting out the back. But yeah, we'll figure that out. We can measure from this, because this will be a nice clean cut, and these will be probably horrible hot. Next step, we've done these, they're all measured up. We might want that. Maybe that. We need some clamps. We need some poles. And we're gonna kinda, if we set this little forget the name for this, but whatever. If we sit this on the bench top, we can then line up the little line we've got here. Now we're not going to be perfectly 100% accurate, but shoot that up and then just use this to kind of align it because it's all the same thickness as well. And I should be able to get, we're going to want to drill a hole up there, so I should probably put the clamp down here. Hey clamp. It's not perfectly level at the top, but also the tabletop's not perfectly level, so I mean, it's not really going to matter. That's fine, I'm not going to worry about that too much. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay. Let's hold that out of the way. Now I want a bit of material down the bottom, just in case I run into any problems. I need to do any kind of adjustments, so I could drill this a little bit further down, but I'm not going to. Obviously, starting off with a real big drill bit means it's going to take a while for this to start, but well. That was a little bit more off center, but oh well. Now we get to the fun fact of seeing how big a drill bit my drill could fit. I don't think it's very big. Ooh. Actually, I've got 13 mil, and that fits. Amazing. So I'm just going to enlarge these holes. This one, slowly and surely, really, if you do it too tight, the drill bit will just bite and spin, etc., etc. Not quite big enough for these little boys to go through. So, what I'll do, make enough noise that my neighbours hate me. Another reason why I'm doing this when I'm nearly about ready to go to work is that it's a time of the day that I'm allowed to. Also, on a related note, please wear safety glasses, which I am not doing. So close. I need that. Oh, yes. 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 I got my little needle files here. That's the one I want. Half round needle file. You won't be able to see it from there. What am I doing? Half round needle file. But aluminium is soft enough that you can actually use like a Swiss Army knife or something as well, to kind of chamfer these a little bit. Wait, you gotta do, but I don't need the plastic. Yeah. What? Fingers crossed. Yeah! Mounted. I mean, it doesn't move. It's pretty solid. I mean, I might put another one on there, just because, as I said, this metal is quite thin. So yeah, I might put another hole in here. it's not gonna, because there's two, it's not gonna, because there's two, but there is gonna be a little bit of force on top, which is gonna push this way a little bit. Maybe. See how enthusiastic I get. Do I want to do another couple of holes? Another one hole? Who knows, I'll figure it out. It's hot again. It's too hot. I also have 5 minutes before I have to leave to work. So, I'll be chucking the other one on in a second, but video continuity. Did my magic trick work? No. But, okay. Is it also the same day as it was before? No. But, because it's YouTube, I'm wearing the same t-shirt. Not because I'm a feral monster who wears the shirt. Same shirt 2 days in a row. Can't have that. That's bad. But, anyway. So, this one's attached. I haven't started attaching the second one yet. That I will do that shortly. Had a little bit of a think about some extra ways to do these joints and stuff as well, for these small little bits. These bits here are obviously just going to be straight over the top, and then the one for the shelf has to have a little cut down here, and this bit's going to be folded, so it can be bolted in 2 locations. Yeah, that'll work, I think. I don't know. But anyway, time to attach the second one, I guess, and then we can get started on these. Okay, so this one's going to be about the same as the other one. Just going to chuck it on there. Use the thing to line it up. A little bit. Kinda. Safety glasses. These are, they're extra safe because they make everything extra blurry, so you can't see what you're doing. But I'll get new safety glasses at some point. Piece of cake. Hole's done. Glasses can come off, because all we're doing now is getting rid of the bits that might cut me. Now obviously I'm being a little bit rough on these. They don't have to be absolutely perfect. This is something that I'm building for the shed, not something that I'm, building for, I don't know, the show, the desk show. Do they have a desk show? I'm sure they do. Carpentry is a thing, but yeah, no, it just needs to be functional. I want it relatively neat, but I mean, I don't care if these aren't perfectly round or these aren't perfectly, I don't care if it's perfect. There's a tiny bit of flex in it, like the tiniest little bit. So I probably will put a couple extra in there before I start putting weight and stuff on the top. But they're both done. Hell yeah. Nice. We've accomplished something today. Wow. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't get that excited about it. Transition. Did that work? I don't know. Anyway, so now that our uprights have been done and relatively secure, I feel like it's a spaceship. Either way, we can test a little thing now. So now, put that there. I mean, look, I measured out 700 mil. These have a little bit of flex in them. That'll make it go to 700 mil, but naturally I want to sit a little bit closer, I believe. In at only 5 mil. Only 5 mil. But I mean, that'll still work. What are we down the bottom here anyway? So down there we're about the same actually. So I think they're sitting pretty level. Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, it's a little bit that way, but I think the whole table's a little bit that way anyway. Hang on. Yeah, the whole table's a little bit that way anyway. So, I mean, that's pretty in line with where the table is. So, really, I think it's going to matter. That's actually surprisingly secure. Well, guess I'm using an angle grinder instead, which means safety equipment. I've got that. Somewhere. Over there. I'm back. So we got safety equipment, we got power tools, we got lights that are going to fall over when everything starts vibrating. I'm probably speaking way too loud. It's good to go. This will take a second. Pretty much literally a second. Time to do that twice more. So we now have 3 at near enough to good enough. So we'll be able to continue with our work. It's actually quite nice. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think it'll likely be good enough if I can get 2 of these things to braze. Then it'll be fine. So really, what you're going to get, turn it up this way, slides neater, what we're going to get is a big square thing up here, which then we're going to be able to both bolt and hopefully braze onto square, rectangular, you know what I mean, a bolt and hopefully braze onto these bits here, which are relatively, the big question here. I need to go this way. Come on, give me this. Level enough. We'll call that level enough. Alright, guess I gotta continue doing those other ones. Yeah. The next little bit of measuring stuff is going to be a fun one. So I've got these 2, which are relatively the same now. 2 of them. 2 of them. 2. We've got these 2, which are relatively the same now, but we need to turn it into a nice square, rectangle, whatever. So we've got these ones here. Now, we only need 2 of these. So we get the 2, yep, that's good. These 2 here are fine. But see, we want, obviously it's going to be upside down,
We want a 200mm overhang. Now, if we measure 200mm on here, let's just do one at a time. If we measure 200mm on here, that's not going to be quite right because we want it to come out over from the edge of the table. So we need to add the 30mm for the square section there. So if we do 200 here, and we write, say, if we write overhang, and then here is box. Now that needs to be 30mm, approximately. That's fine. We've got 2 points of attachment, we can attach it there and there. But what I'm also going to do, so if we attach, so if that's the top there, that's sitting over the top of the box. Now the box section's obviously also going to have another bit, just a short bit for example, running that way. So I'll be able to have it attached there and there. But wouldn't it be better to have it attached at a third location? Yes, it would. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically cut off here. So we need another 30mm approximately. We're going to have a bend in there, so we're going to have to add a couple of mil there too as well. And we're going to bend this section here down so it grabs onto the back of it basically. Probably not completely required given this and this. That given this and this are attached and if we're brazed, I'd rather have it a little bit, I'm not going to say over-engineered because this is pretty dodgy anyway, but yeah, I'd rather have it a little bit stronger. So about 30mm after that. I don't know how I'm going to do this bend because I don't have anything really strong enough to bend it around, but I'm sure I'll figure something out. If it doesn't work, I'll just cut it off. So we need another, if we want to make it neat, we need 30mm. Approximately, we'll give a little bit extra. So measure again, that one should be 30. And that one should be 20. So, sorry, 200. Okay, so that's that, and that. Let's make them official, because you know they're not official till you do this. Okay, now this one doesn't really matter. It's not actually a cut, it's just a guideline. This one here does matter because I need to make an incision. And then this one here does matter because I'm going to cut the end off. You know what you should do? You should draw something and then immediately move something over the top of it so it smudges. That's a grand idea. So this bit here is going to be waste. So we mark it as such. And then this bit here is going to be waste as well. So we want it folding over the top. So yes, this bit here is going to be waste. Okay. That's just for my own reference. So I need another one of them.
Well, there goes my lighting.
So, as you've seen before, I actually made a little bit of a mistake when measuring. I did these both exactly the same, but because they're going to be on opposite sides, like this, they need to be different. So I'm actually, this bit here is a little bit different from this bit here because this bit's going to perfectly match up with the edge and this bit isn't. So it'll look a little bit dodgy, but you know what? It'll be alright, I'm pretty sure. So all that's left to do now is fold those over for the back bit, but these bits will sit, so there'll be a section like that. These bits will sit there, and then these little tabs here are going to fold over to the back, and everything's going to be stuck together. These are also going to match up a little bit nicer because they'll be spread out like that. I reckon that's going to be pretty stable. Like, even sitting it like that, it's quite stable. So I think it'll be fine. I'm going to try and braze it anyway, just for fun. Also, I kind of don't know if I want to bolt it together before I start brazing or not. Just because everything will fit perfectly if I do that, and then everything will just be kind of seated in place. But obviously as you start heating things up, they're going to start moving. So I'm not really sure. I haven't really decided yet. So basically it's done. These end bits, I could have done similar tabs on the end bits as well, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue because there's not really going to be much force there. Both things are kind of just going to be just chilling together, really. I should have done tabs, especially now I think about it more. I should have done tabs, but I'm hoping that this brazing process is going to be really good and going to work really well. So I guess I should braze those ends first and then go from there. See how I go, because that'll make that a perfect angle, and it'll make the other side a perfect, hopefully a perfect angle anyway. So once I've got those two on, yeah, that's really all that's needed before. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get a fire going. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give this a little bit of I've kind of gone over the edges here, made sure everything's nice fresh aluminium. I'm going to just give this a bit of a once over with this, kind of remove any oxidization or protection that's on there from when it was manufactured. / been sitting in Bunnings for God knows how long. Okay, it's basically set up done. Obviously, it's probably not perfect, but hopefully it'll work. Fingers crossed. As I said before, I've never done this before, so. Time to attach these. I've got this one, so this is the one for this side here. It's going to take a long time to do that if I do that like that. Now I should be using probably something better than these G-clamps, but they're all I've got. I thought I had a tiny one somewhere, but apparently not. Well, I probably do, but I just can't find it. So, some people say use the right tool for the job. Other people say if it works, it's the right tool. So hopefully we've got this reasonably well clamped together. That's not perfectly aligned, yes, I know, but I've got to see how this goes first. So I'm just going to try and do it there. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So what we're going to use for this one is a blowtorch that hopefully has enough fuel in it. Little Bernzomatic thing, little propane.
It's not very fancy, it's not very expensive, but fire is fire, right? Yeah, right. Let's get into it. As expected, we've kind of come across a little bit of a problem. Well, I hope we wouldn't come across a little bit of a problem, but we have. My aluminium brazing didn't work. My torch wasn't hot enough. I could go get a hotter torch, but that would be more money, etc, etc. So, look, it's not going to be holding a terrible amount of weight up here. I've got this bad boy clamped to a couple of things here. So if we just kind of sit that on there, those clamps are quite heavy. So if we just put that there, like, that's going to be mounted there a bit nicer. Like, it's pretty solid. Like, it'll be fine. Like, I probably won't even need to put braces in between it. I will, but yeah, I reckon these little end bits, I've finished them quite nicely for when I was going to do the brazing. So I'm just going to chuck a bolt through each one, see how it goes. I would use the old self-tappers, but it's going to be sticking out, it's going to be down near the bottom, that's going to be pretty messy. So what I've got is these little bad boys here. I believe these were probably off a car or something like that, and I've just kind of stolen them. They're not required for the car, they were probably off an old project car or something like that I have. So I had them in my spare bolts and nuts little box. So yeah, they're okay, they're both exactly the same mesh, except for one's a bit dirtier than the other. I got a couple of spring washers. Obviously you're quite far away from where I am, but pretend these are spring washers, and these ones here, there's some nice shiny little nuts. So what I'm going to do, chuck holes in both of these, one at a time preferably, and then yeah, just bolt that together, start folding over the backs, start getting this ready here, figure out what's going to go where and that, and then all this is probably going to be stuck together with self-tappers, because once everything is together and folded over, so you've got this one here, you're going to have a bit on the side like this, but then you're also going to have this back part here that's folded over. So that'll go through 3 layers here, this will go through 1 layer here, and it'll go through 2 layers here. So there's going to be quite a lot of, there's going to be 3 bolts going through a bunch of different layers. So there's no way that I can put any kind of nut or anything in the back of it. So yeah, I mean, it'll be enough to hold it. I'm not going to need to pull that bit apart if I need to. I can just pull it apart from there because, it only sticks out 200 mil. So it doesn't really matter. So brazing didn't work. So we won't worry about that. We'll get right on to drilling. Okay, so here you can see the joint is actually quite, it's not perfect. It's from where it was all warm and a little bit warped and stuff like that. But I mean, it's going to hold pretty steady when we bolt this through. So what we're going to need, it's going to need a 6mm drill bit. So that'll go through there. These are actually slightly bigger. Did I say 6? I meant 5mm. Okay, so 5mm drill bit. These are a touch bigger, so hopefully they're going to kind of bite into there a little bit and then screw it on the other side, and you should be all good. Now, as for this, it's not going to matter hugely where it goes, but I obviously want it in the center quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is actually measure things. I know, crazy thought. Put that over there. I also have a new hole punch because I have no idea where my old hole punch was. Sorry, hole punch? Did I say hole punch? Center punch is what I meant. But if we come in, so we should need to come in 15mm from the side to be in the middle because it's 30 by 30. So 15mm from there. That's just, no, we don't need it. We don't need to be terribly accurate. Oh God, everything's falling apart. So that's about there. And then about 15mm this way as well. About that. So we have this little spot here. That's going to be where we're going to do a nice little center. I'd like it a little bit. I could screw it through there. So this could go through there. I'd have to put pressure on it. I'd have to do a bunch of other stuff. You know, try and make sure it's right. Otherwise it'll pull everything off to the side. So I'd rather it be a little bit better. So I'm actually going to swap from a 5 to a 5.5. Okay, that's done. Let's see how we go. It's still going to be screwing through there, so it should still pull them together. It's just a matter of, do I want it loose or do I want it tight? Yeah, there's risk of it going in sideways. Could do it, it'd be nicer. It's not going to have much force on it. I'll just make it 6. Now I've got 6, and that's perfect. There's a slight bit of play in there, but once everything's screwed down, it'll be fine. So now, do we bolt it straight away? Do we do the other side? Just in case this side doesn't work. I feel like I should bolt this, but it's going to make it more annoying to do the other side. So, yeah, let's just do the other side and bolt it all together at once, eh? Am I going to drill it at a weird angle because I can't be bothered holding it? Yes, I am. Easy, right? Simple. Okay, now that's done, the problem is that we're going to have a little bit of sharp spots on either sides of these. So, nearly cut myself. Exhibit A, sharp spots. So that just means that when I bolt it to another bit of flat metal, even though this one I bent a little bit, it'll come flat. If I remove those spots, it's just going to make it a little bit nicer and sit a little bit flusher. Yes, there'll be a little bit less material. Ideally, you want it completely flush. But what you can do is a bigger drill bit like this. This is a bigger drill bit, I think 7mm. And I just want to kind of run it on the edge just a tiny little bit, just to give it like so. I'll just go over the hole and just give it a quick, and that's it. That's perfect. That's what I need. So I'll show you a close up of that in a sec, just for the next one. Now this one, I could drill it directly, and then everything should bolt together. But the problem is, if I haven't measured this and the other bit perfectly, it's not going to line up. The other reason for it not lining up is going to be this bit here. So even though it's 30mm, you've obviously got to deal with 1.5mm, turns into 3mm there. So you can see my cross is there, but it's about 3mm out. So I could remeasure it, I could do that, or I could kind of just stick it together, give it a clamp, and then give it a drill, and she'll be right.
So I found a little bit of wood. I think it's from a failed different project. It's not very good, but it will do what we need. Put it under there, press everything down, hold it nice and stable. Now I'm using a slightly smaller drill bit here, which means this isn't going to be perfectly centered. It's going to be tough. But it's actually pretty close. Wow, still stuck together. That's going to fit through perfectly fine. Okay, it's another hole done. I could tidy it up, but in all reality, with a spring washer and a little bit of extra clearance and stuff, it's not going to need tidying up on the other end. Maybe on this side here. We'll give it a look now. So what we can do, if you have little burrs, it's not much, get your bigger drill bit. And just get rid of them by hand. I might as well do it on the other side. The other side has some bigger burrs. They'll just get crushed by when I put the thing on anyway. I usually wouldn't worry about them, but give it a nice tidy up. It's nice if I pull it apart, whatever, it's not going to cut the hell out of me on some little bits of alloy that I've left on there. That's nice. That side's ready to go. Time to do the other side. Kind of. That now hits that. That's a pain. What we do, turn this around. It's going to be a little bit awkward to hold. You've got a big long bit sticking out the top. I can't support this bit here with my body, but it'll be right. It's just a quick drill. Quick few turns. Quick few turns on that. So now this, it's nice and flat, nice and safe, sits on there good. So now it's time to bolt it together, I guess. So that's quite loose at the moment. I'll tighten that up in a second. I just wanted to check how everything sat. And everything sits pretty good, really. There's a touch of movement in there. That's all going to come out. I'll make sure that's nice and straight there. I could measure right angles. I could do stuff like that and make sure it's bolted up perfect. But everything's going to have a little bit of a movement in there anyway. So really, it's just a waste of time. If it was more important, it would be welded. But if it was slightly more important, but not very important, then I'd measure stuff like that. But I don't see any point to it. Give that a little bit of a screw down. Check everything. Now do this side. Now we have another side there. Pretty much perfect. Now if I've made it properly, we should be able to see. That is about the same size there. And about the same size there as well. It's pretty much bang on. That's a little bit awry. I think that side's a little bit awry the opposite way, actually. So that's actually Perfect, that's exactly where we want it.
Now I've got this nice and attached. It does fit quite well up there. We've got these back sections here that we have to fold over. Now I'm not sure if the aluminium is going to be able to take a 90-degree bend without being quite unhappy about the situation. I mean, a sheet aluminium that I've used before has been fine. I'm not sure how this is going to go. So what I might do is actually put a little bit of heat into it as well. Do I want to do it on the table? Don't know. Should I clean the table? Yes. Look at that. All clean. Kinda. It's like almost like magic. Okay, so we need to find something that's going to make this something I can bend this over. I'd use the top of this because it's square, and I can just tap it and bend it. But keep in mind these are only held in by a couple of Tech screws, so I don't want to put that much lateral shearing force on it. Just because it might bend the cheap IKEA metal that's inside of that. So what are we going to use? A jack. It's quite kind of sturdy. This bit here comes out, and then you have a nice little square. So what I'll do is I'll anneal the aluminium a little bit, just heat it up, get it nice and malleable. I'll give it a little bit of a tap, and yeah, hopefully we can bend it around these edges without introducing too much stress and kind of weakening the metal too much. So yeah, let's give it a shot. Okay, so we just want to get the metal nice and hot. This isn't going to get stupidly hot because of the torch isn't very good, but at least it's hot enough that it's starting to actually oxidize the metal, which should be about enough. The metal, it's getting some, I don't know if you can see it, it's getting some orange flames there. So that means it's getting about right. Well, it's about as hot as this is going to get it anyway. So, let's knock everything over. And do the same to the other side. See how it's not orange at first, it's just normal blue flames going over the edge? It means the aluminium isn't very hot. Now it's starting to get to temperature, setting that nice orange. Keep going for a little bit. Okay, we should be good. We've got two little hot boys, and then we should be able to bend them now. Okay, so now we have this here. We need to bend it. It's cooled down, obviously. So what we can do, put it right up, line it right up against this edge, and then should just be able to give it a little bit of a tap. Maybe that's a little bit too far. It's closer to the edge there. And there we have it. It's not perfect, but that's a 90-degree-ish corner. It should be right. I should be able to straighten it out. I'll do this one actually a little bit further out.
just because that curve radius is a little bit annoying. It's going to match up perfectly with the box. So because this one was actually folded, cut properly, I could fold it properly as well. Again, it's not perfect, it's not pretty, but yeah, so that's basically that bit there done. Might make this a little bit neater, if I can, maybe. I repeat, maybe. Again, not perfect, but should be right. Okay, so we've got this frame basically completed. Got these little bits bent up nicely. We can chuck this over here. We can screw that down, and then we can screw this cross brace on top. Now, if I screw the cross brace on top, it's going to be a little bit weird, a little bit wonky. Just because of how these bits here bend inside. So ideally, I think I want to do it underneath. Let me just figure that out here. If I put this inside, and that on top of that, that will be more secure because these little bits that I haven't bent quite properly. It will mean that this is a bit strange because this front part is kind of more, you know, it is on top, and this back part here will be underneath. So, I mean, it won't be perfectly level, but I don't think it's going to be perfectly level anyway. So the fact that this is going to sit nicer and a little bit more secure is more of a positive to me than a negative. Plus, if I just put that there, I can just basically start screwing, and it'll work perfectly fine. That'll all attach. Everything will be all hunky-dory, so to speak. Can I? Nope, can't just sit that there. It's not going to hold itself tight enough, but it'll be all right. So, yeah, I guess we'll just start screwing away. Good plan? Good plan. Also, I could pre-drill holes and stuff, but I'm not gonna, because I'm not gonna. Should be right. Should be right. I'm gonna tape anything, or I'm gonna just hold it. That's my biggest question. It's my biggest concern, obviously. Obviously, I have priorities. And that. And I mean, everything should pull itself together nicely anyway, so it's not really gonna matter. Also note, yes, my hand is on the other side, but my hand is on the other side because these aren't going to be long enough to go through. So I'm not drilling recklessly into my flesh. What I might do actually, I was going to do all of these on one side and then all of those on the other side. I might just fit these ones here because then I can still kind of pivot this up and down, and I can get this a bit of a nice angle, make sure it's as level as possible kind of thing. I was going to do it one way, not going to do it that way, going to do it a different way. So I'm going to chuck that one in and then back to this one. Pulling everything nice and even, by the way. By nice and even, I mean just kind of together.
Okay, should be good-ish, I suppose. Also, what I'm doing here is I'm offsetting everything slightly so that the screws don't hit each other. So even though this is off to the side and not even, it's because the other screw is going to go in here, and that one's fairly important. So to the other side, come back, do the final screws. Okay, this side over here has very little movement and it's very secure. Other side, because of differences in me doing it by hand like an idiot, it moves a little bit, but hopefully when we get these back screws in, should be good. Gonna chuck this back one here in first, then I'll chuck that one in there. Oh, yes, that is secure. Time to do the final one, I guess. This side is mint. Hopefully that side will be mint too. And we're done. That is actually a lot more secure now than what it was before. This screw here kind of stuffed up. The one on the very edge stuffed up. It didn't kind of pull things together as much as I'd hoped. I'm gonna start free spinning this out there. I'm gonna start trying to tighten it up, but it might be a bit stuffed. Actually, it wasn't. It was okay. I just did it a little bit slower, and she's alright. Now that's mint. Put a hammer on it. I'm gonna put a camera on it. Put it. Sweet. Can't complain about that. We've got a thing that can bear weight. I mean, a little bit. I'm not gonna sit on it. Like it's got some movement in there. But that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. That's the frame done. I gotta figure out what the hell I'm gonna put on the back of it. That's gonna be cheap and gonna hold everything alright. But I think it's mint. Like, yeah. Anyway, basically, the idea behind everything coming over here, I can put, if I'm working on something down underneath me, I can put some lighting up the top that points down onto it, also from the middle as well, so it's well lit, whatever I'm doing, if I'm doing soldering and stuff like that. But then also I can put, if I want to put something up here, I can film straight down, show you guys what I'm doing. I'm going to be able to do that as well, so I mean, it's a basic frame that I've made out of aluminium and some spare screws that I had sitting around, and also some tech screws. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty well so far. I'm going to do some more thinking about where we're going to go with the next steps of it. But at least now we've got the frame. I'm also going to be working on a bench top and some other stuff as well for it. So this will be my little project desk. But yeah, we've got the frame basically done now. I may reinforce it. I may not. I may show you how level it is, but I don't know where the level is. I had it like yesterday. No idea where it is now. No idea. It's gone. I put it somewhere safe. It's gone. Just like everything all the time. But yeah. No, it's not under the desk. I thought I'd check that, even though you can't see it on camera because it's right next to me. I thought I'd just check that I hadn't hidden it down there for some reason, like an idiot, like I usually am. If I find a level, I guarantee it's not level, but I mean it's close enough. If I put a screw on it, it wants to roll off a little bit, but it's a tech screw anyway, so hey, that's not, she's alright. As long as stuff doesn't constantly want to roll off. then that'll be perfect, because this should be a kind of flat surface, and if I put stuff there when I'm doing stuff down here, that would be bad. So I may brace these sides if it turns out that it needs it, but at the moment I don't think it does. I think that can support, look, if it can support a couple of kilos, that's perfect, and I see no reason why it can't at the moment. I mean, that's a good couple of kilos. That's fine. So yeah, should be good once it's spread. It'll also be a little bit more stable once we've actually bolted something to the top of it, because that'll hold it as well. So that'll be there. There'll be a little shelf at the back, which I got some more aluminium down there. I just need to figure out what kind of backing and stuff I can put on this cheaply. Is cheap the main motivator for this project? A little, but it'll still be fun, still be good. See where we go, huh?